everybody, and welcome back to the Pit and Paddock Race Show for episode 15. Formula One found themselves in Miami for the Grand Theft Auto Vice City Grand Prix, where Piastri made it 3 in a row and another all-McLaren race.
Yay.
Yay. It was a sprint weekend, and I think sprint was more exciting than any of the the big prize races so far.
There was more action on the reconnaissance laps of the sprint race than the rest of the entire season.
Oh, yeah. Kimi the Younger got his first ever pole, and the youngest pole of all time, and immediately lost his lead on the first lap.
Well, he did hold it for 2 laps under the safety car, so I guess...
Oh, yeah, does that count?
So he did, barely. It's kind of cheating. Chuck Leclerc did a bit of a Haji impression there and crashed out on the siding lap. How disappointing.
I'm watching that and I'm like, wait, why is he shown in the back? What happened? And they never even showed what happened to him.
They didn't. I had to watch the pre-race is where I saw that what happened. They didn't mention it at all.
Yeah, they did. Like, what? Come on, F1 TV.
I remember watching, they were showing it while they were, doing their pre-race stuff, and I'm like, man, he is hauling that on those intermediates. So that track looks pretty wet. 3 seconds later, smash.
Was he blaming the team for putting him on inters?
A little. He didn't really. I mean, he could have just, slowed down slightly.
Lucky Lando, who loves the safety car, because once again it took him to the win. He safety car'd at just the right time.
I think it was his disco ball helmet.
That was
pretty intense.
I did like the disco ball helmet.
I wish somebody was shining a light on it during the race.
Oh yeah, like little lasers bouncing off of it.
I was going to order Lando's race win diecast for this, but it was just the safety car. Someone sent me.
Safety car getting the win. I have to say the most shocking development about sprint race was Ferrari makes a good strategy call and Hamilton ends up third. Was that really good strategy from Ferrari or just dumb luck?
Well, I always default to dumb luck when something works out, because that's usually what it is. But if I see two or three in a row, maybe I'll switch that over to good strategy. I saw Fernando Alonso do his watch. So look at me, I'm Lance Stroll, slam into the wall there.
For no good reason.
Just
crash.
I think he's just done with this season. The car's trash.
He's putting all his hopes on Adrian Newey for next year.
Oh, yeah, he's going to need that. Verstappen had a 10-second penalty that dropped him to... Well, he was 4th, and it dropped him to out of the points.
That was for running Piastri off the road?
Yeah, Ruben is not racing.
Not in Formula One.
It is not racing.
Until you get to the main race, where it was Max and Lando on the front row until Max banged Lando and knocked him back 4 spots. That was a hit. That was like a wheel to wheel, just smack you off the road. Like he came across, banged wheels, and knocked Lando off.
Ruben is now racing again?
Yeah, in the big race you can do that. But then they didn't give him a penalty for that one, and I thought that was worse than the sprint race.
I guess they're using up their penalties on the sprint race.
But Max couldn't hold off Piastri, who reeled him in, took the lead, and just stayed out there. Nobody could catch Piastri.
It was like pretty big lead there.
Yeah.
Lando lost another tough battle with Lando again.
Man, Lando is really killing himself. If he wasn't in that McLaren, there's no way he makes his way back up to second. But, nobody can beat the Max right now.
There's always something. Lando always does something. Would they win by? 30 plus?
30 plus seconds.
Lando managed to only be 5 behind after his mistakes. There's no one they're going to get caught with it all there.
So now that they're going back to Europe, the flexi wing rule is going to come into effect now. They have to fix that.
So no more wing movement on the straightaways.
Yeah, is that going to put Lando? The studio cat's making noise. You want to let the studio cat out?
Studio cat, are you done?
Make up your mind, studio cat.
Okay. Good evening. Studio cat.
Yeah, is that going to even things up? Plus upgrades, right? Everybody brings upgrades once they get back to Europe.
I don't think it'll make too much of a difference.
The McLaren's just.
I think they'll still kind of walk away with the season.
I've heard that Alpine is going to give up and just start putting all their efforts into, or no, Williams. Williams is going to give up developing, and they're moving everything into 2026 now.
What? They're like 5th in points.
Yeah,
I do,
like they're improving.
what? Yeah, they've gotten better. They got 2 cars in the points. They've been moving up every race. It seems like
They got better on a slow corner track, which was never their strong point.
thought you were gonna like maybe Alpine or a stake
Yeah.
team would do that because they're obviously terrible. And what does it even matter at this point?
Yeah.
But Williams has a shot at finishing top 6, 7 in owners' points if they can keep it together. I don't like it.
Maybe it's a fake out.
Do they think next year they're going to contend for a championship? Because I don't.
No. Not in the modern era. No, I don't see a non-factory team really competing unless you're McLaren.
No, that's true.
And they're a half-factory team, so,
Yeah, that's true. If only they awarded points for holding up faster cars, Max might repeat as champion. Because man, he makes the race entertaining because they're faster, and he manages to hold them off for a few laps to get everyone excited, like it's an actual race, and then he gets
Yeah.
by him eventually.
But it does give us some racing.
Yeah.
Make it look like, it's actually competitive for a while.
I was like, man, the last race he managed to do it the entire race, keep him behind him, but it's not this time.
No, not in the slow corners. Ferrari seemed to go from 4th best car to 5th best car, and got beat by Albon in the Williams.
I don't know, maybe 6th best because Hamilton was really struggling with Ocon and the Haas for a while there.
How do you you're in a Ferrari and you can't get past the Haas?
The Haas is your leftover parts, pretty
Yeah.
much. I don't know.
Haas gets their parts from your dumpster, Ferrari.
Yeah, what's that noise? Oh, some guy from Haas is stealing parts from the trash again.
The raccoons. Lewis got another bitter lesson in Ferrari strategy when he was forced to hold position even though he was on faster tires.
I really enjoyed Lewis's radio over the course of the race. I remember they made a move over for his teammate to get by,
Yeah.
and then it's like, then he gets by him, and he's like, and then someone pops on the radio from Ferrari. Sainz is now 1.4 seconds back, and he's, yeah, you want me to let him by too, or what? What do you?
So why? All right. So Lewis complains, "Let me in front of Charles. I have faster tires," and they say no, and then he complains, and then they let him by, and then he makes a little bit of ground, but not much. So then they say, "All right, give it back to Leclerc." Like, why did they?
I don't.
And then that's when he got really snarky, like, "Oh, you want me to let Sainz by too?" He got really snarky, and I don't know why they told him to let Leclerc back in front.
Like they were both, what were they, 6th and 7th at the time or something?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that would have affected anything, but whatever. He said, I could get by him faster. Then he got by, pulled out a second or two, and then Leclerc came right back up and caught him. Like, they're both about the same speed, so it doesn't really matter.
There was a lot of back and forth for Ferrari.
Yeah. Lewis is going to be the new radio to listen to during the race there. I thought they were trying to double the amount of on-track passes by themselves, just between Ferrari. Let him by. No, let him back by.
If you got points for passing.
Yeah. Quit trying to rig the passing points. All of the rookies crashed on lap 1 again, except for Kimi. But, yeah, the rookies are not doing so hot this year.
I did see Duhan go out.
Yeah, Duhan, and then the other one?
Did Haji? Haji didn't crash though.
No,
did
he made it this
Yeah.
time. Him and Kimi were the two that made it through. All the other rookies were out by the end of the race.
So rumors are telling us that Duhan is going to be out for Calapinto, but I haven't heard confirmation yet.
Is he going to do any better in the Alpine?
Nobody's going to do any better in the Alpine.
So they're going to dump him? I guess hoping that Calapinto doesn't crash as many cars.
Maybe Calapinto brings more sponsor money.
Oh, well, there's always that. Did you watch the much more exciting Lego race for the driver intros?
I did see the that they built full-size Legos of each car.
They put it was a two-seater car, so one of the guys had to drive, and they made the other one ride in the back because they only had 10 of them. I don't know. That was entertaining. The clips of that, almost more than the race. Definitely more than the IndyCar race.
Well, in other news, the Mexican Grand Prix is going to stay on the calendar through 2028. When asked how Mexico could afford to sponsor an F1 race, President Scheinbaum said the race will now be known as the Sinolia Cartel Grand Prix of Mexico.
Yeah.
So there's your answer.
Thankfully, a lot of sponsorship
Yeah.
coming out of that drug money.
You know, if you're selling that much fentanyl in America, you might as well help out your people.
Miami will also be staying on the calendar through 2041.
Wow.
I'm not sure how they're going to race there longer than 10 years, since Al Gore promised the city would be underwater due to climate change. You know, in fact, I'm not sure how they can race there now, since I was told 10 years ago the city would be underwater due to climate change. Interesting.
Yeah, every 10 years, Al Gore resets the "we only have 10 years to save the planet" clock.
Are we due for another one here soon, or did we just miss it?
I think we had a few more years, and then we have another 10 years to save the planet.
Just 10 more years, and then
Yeah.
that's it.
Well, next up, Formula One returns to Europe for the Italian Grand Prix Part 1 after only 1 week off. Did you see that, IndyCar? 1 week off, and you can race again.
What's a week off? Says NASCAR.
And they're going from one continent to another.
Well, to be fair, you know, California's a long way to Barber, I guess, so can't be doing a whole lot of it. NASCAR went to Texas for the Deportation 400, where Joey Baby won again, but this time it's for real.
Wait, what was the race called?
The Deportation 400.
Oh, is that why there were so many empty seats? They deport people?
Well, they said the luxury boxes were full.
Oh, yeah. There's no deportations going on in the luxury box.
Also, you can't see in there either, so.
Is that what ICE did? Hey, free tickets to NASCAR, and then, all right, yeah, you go into that. Go wait for us in that truck over there, would you? Yeah, they could do, you know, that's what I would do if I was ICE. I would, like, hold a soccer game, like Mexico versus Brazil, and just round up all the people that get a free ticket.
That's pretty smart thinking.
Yeah. And also offer Modelo. That would help. Not Budweiser.
Modelo.
Yeah.
Before we get into the Cup race, Kyle Larson was the super sub for broken back Connor Zilic, and he won the race pretty handily. I think it is important to note also that the trophy for that race was a giant ice cream cone. So
Really?
that was pretty cool.
Just for the Busch race?
Yeah, it was the Andy's Custard 300 or something.
Wait, but I didn't see Cole Custer have his cold custard livery.
No, I thought he should have been in that race.
Yeah. Oh.
That's too bad.
You know what? We were all expecting another boring Texas race, but the crashes and the mishaps made it interesting, just like the Biden administration.
I wasn't interested. Some of the race highlights. Hamlin, a pretty big favorite to win the race, completely exploded during the first stage early. After he figured out he doesn't know how to use code words for pit stops, and just not a great day for Denny all around.
So he exploded emotionally and then physically after
Yes.
that. He had some nice flames going on.
His crew chief, I said cowboys. He's like, what? I don't know. Did we go over this?
Why do you need code words?
Just tell me to pit. It's the first stage of a freaking 400 lap race. Like, 400 miles to go. We're not freaking anyone out with our strategy calls here. Then, yeah, that was later in the stage when he exploded, so I guess it didn't matter at all. Cindric ended up taking the first stage. After that, Josh Berry took 2 tires and pretty much led almost the entire second stage on old tires because it's difficult to pass at Texas or at any track that the Cup Series races at somehow.
What happened to Lucky Lord Byron in the pits?
Somebody pulled out right in front of him. Looks like he damaged the splitter. Kind of messed up he had a top 5 car going there till that. They covered it with some duct tape later in the race and didn't quite help.
Wait, seriously, 2 tires and you could hold off the field.
Just
Wow.
got the track position and can just hang out with 2 tires.
Yeah.
Chris Buescher's tire exploded to end the second stage, which was won by Kyle Larson. Also pretty dominant during the race.
Yeah, when you have races that are kind of boring like that, I would like Fox to implement the improperly dressed spectator cam.
I don't know if we have enough time. We have Walmart sponsor it, though.
Yeah, that would be the perfect sponsor.
Yeah, I mean, that race looked... there was some people there, and it would have taken a long time to get through all of them. That was when my favorite named driver, Jesse Love, smashed into the wall in his second Cup start.
The Crash of Jesse Love, a stripper documentary.
It's tomorrow on VH1.
Wait, is there a VH1 anymore?
I have no idea. I just remember them doing those documentaries.
You can see bands reunited on YouTube. That was actually a good show.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. I don't know why anyone would watch cable anymore.
Yeah.
Except you have to for some of these races. Lap 229, Bad Luck Busch spun from the top 5 to continue his streak of terribleness. His streak of about 3 years about now.
He just has the most awful luck.
He'll get up there in a bad car and then just something always happens.
Man, he probably got rubbed by Graham Rahal.
Oh, Jesus, that's just as bad. Graham doesn't crash all the time, though.
Yeah. Graham just doesn't race well all the time now.
No. He says I qualify bad, but now you race bad, too.
Yeah.
Lap 247, there was a pretty big crash with Brad Keselowski, Austin Cindric. Oh, and guess who else? Kyle Busch. Found the wreck again, which led to everyone speeding on pit road, like at least 5 or 6 cars. I remember the announcers going over it.
They don't have the limiter switch on NASCAR, do they, where they can just hit the switch and...
They have to judge it by...
And they don't have
RPM.
speedometers, right? They just have RPM to
Yeah.
judge it by.
They just got to look at their RPM. They're supposed to set that during the pace laps, but apparently not a lot of them do.
That's such a lame penalty. You know what? I would be for pit limiter switches. It's just dumb.
Especially since it's a safety reason. Like, you push the button, there's no way you're getting a penalty. It's one of those things that doesn't need to be an issue.
Yeah, like paying your taxes. Oh, how much do I owe this year? I don't know. You tell me. Okay, this much? Nope, sorry. Go to jail. Can you just tell me how much I owe?
Just tell me a number.
Yeah, just tell me. No, we want you to guess. And then if you get it wrong, you go to jail. Or we take everything you own.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Trump's going to get rid of income taxes for people making less than $200,000 a year.
Okay. Is that going to make it through Congress?
That's a good question.
What about...
It's a fiscal thing, so it doesn't need 2/3 majority.
Oh, what about when a federal judge says that he can't do it?
Oh, yeah, they run the country now, don't they?
Yeah, no.
That would be cool, though. No income tax under 200,000.
Then it would be fine with all the tariffs if there was no income tax.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the race, Michael McDowell was looking for his first win in 3 years. But on the restart, here comes little baby Joey. After McDowell's 5-6 lane wide swing to block him all the way down to the bottom of the track, like that's a little extreme. He got by him.
Blaney didn't do so good either, and I'm wondering, did Blaney go to the Mark Webber School of Restarts?
I have yet to see Blaney make a decent restart.
Wow. He went to the Australian school and learned how to restart from Mark Webber. Who? What did drunk English guy call him? Oh, another atrocious start by Mark Webber.
Man, it's so bad. Every time, it's like, don't get behind Blaney on the restarts. He's just going to slow you down.
Does he wheel spin it or does he miss a gear every time? I don't know what he does. I'd be working on that.
It's got to be something.
Uh,
So on that restart, Logano took off and won the race, solidifying my entire day as a complete waste of time
oh, that's right.
between all three races.
I forgot you don't really like Joey that much.
Every time he wins after like a 3.5 hour race, I'm like, what a waste of my time.
Usually when your name's Joey, once you hit like 19, you don't want people to call you Joey anymore. But then, what's his alternative? Joe? That's not great either.
Joseph?
Yeah.
Joey,
Call me Joseph.
Joey's always like a grade school younger kid. Goes by the Joey.
I'd get a nickname like, I don't know, Coat of Many Colors guy or something. Which leads me to say, why is Texas such a bad track?
I feel like there's a massive list of improvement attempts at Texas, and they just have all failed.
Oh, like the 2024 Democratic nomination process.
Yeah, just about like that.
I did read they repaved it and it went from like 4 lanes to 2 lanes. So then they put some sticky coating and it really got worse. And
It was worse. That ruined the track for IndyCar when they did that too.
yeah.
I think originally, like, the track started leaking up whenever it would
Oh,
rain,
the
like
weepers. Yeah.
So they changed turn 1 when they repaved it and made it the 350-foot wide turn, but you can only still use the bottom 2 lanes barely for some. And then they just leave it there and make everyone watch it.
So they need a complete repave.
They need to fix that. Just put it back the way it was when they built it. I think would do fine. IndyCar had great races there for that. NASCAR had better races. Everyone liked it. Now they have that abomination turn 1 and 2 that no one likes. Ooh, and that little bump in turn 3, the tunnel bump, took out 3 or 4 guys. They would get up a little bit too high there, and then you hit that bump at speed and you just spin.
Well, we were always asking for like little interesting elements to make the race better. Like, oh, the bump. Oh, watch that bump up there. You'll crash.
Some people forgot about the bump.
Yep. Paint jobs. What'd you like?
Cold Custard had a Red Baron pizza car. The picture of the pizza on the car actually looked good, so it's very unlikely it was a Red Baron pizza on the car, but that's what it said.
I went with Priest in the number 60 Sara Lee half loaf car, right? I mean, the car was ugly, but I appreciate the honesty of what 25% inflation has done to America. Mm-hmm. You can only get a half loaf now, so.
Had a nice grilled cheese on the back, I think.
Yeah.
Half loaf. Now we're selling half loaves. Actually, probably could go with that. I never get through the full loaf before it goes bad anyways.
There's some truth there. Keep fresher bread. Or wasn't everybody making their own bread during the pandemic? You could just do that.
That lasts even less time than...
Yeah.
This bread is too fresh. It goes bad after a day and a half.
Do you have the bread maker at home?
No, not anymore.
Your mom had one of the early bread makers.
Those was really good bread.
Yeah, she would make banana nut bread in it all the time. That was actually pretty cool.
Maybe I should get one again. Bad paint schemes. We're going to switch this one back to F1 and the special Ferrari livery, which they just put a bit of blue on the back of it and said it was a special Miami livery. It was terrible.
It was like blue wing and blue engine cover.
They would switch to the reverse cam, and I'm like, what are we showing the Williams for? Oh, that's Ferrari. Okay.
I thought that they were like previewing their 2026 livery when it's just the Scuderia Hewlett-Packard.
Ferrari's going to need a lot of cash to take their name off the car like that.
Well,
I will give my honorable mention to Riley Herbst in the 35 car and the unicorn that threw up all over it.
Oh, what was that?
I couldn't even read it. It was so gaudy with the colors.
I gave my worst car to Busch. in the 7-Eleven car because he was 8, but then it said 7, then 11, and I thought it was like somebody in Fontucky trying to do a countdown. That or my honorable mention for awful was the Michael Jordan car. Like, what the hell is all that on there?
It looked like had like a diamond look or some crystal.
Was there like secret messages on that, or I don't know. I couldn't figure out what it was.
I don't know, but I really want to buy shoes now.
Yeah. NASCAR's proposed Run What You Brung All-Star race was actually supported by a few drivers, including Kurt Busch.
How about an as-was race where you could pick any car from a previous generation and race it as it was? I think that'd be...
I'd be totally down with that. Like you could get the 80s Skull Bandit car.
You know who wouldn't like that? NASCAR, because that might put on a good race and they would be kind of embarrassing.
All right, so
new car.
If you're picking any car from the past, are there other cars that are faster than the next-gen car right now?
The fastest laps were the previous, I think around 2015, when they still had the big horsepower package with the previous gen car. That's when they set all the lap records. 2015 and 16, I think.
So
then they cut horsepower after that.
Are the drivers like just going to pick that fastest car, or are they going to go back and find some cool stuff and race it just for fun?
They should pick the year. You have to race, a car from 1991 or so, just so it's a little more even.
I want to see the Richard Petty Superbird with the Hemi engine.
God, that car's a freaking boat.
I know. They were all boats back then.
I can't imagine wheeling that thing around a road course at like Riverside, that massive.
It's like driving a cotton picker. All those cars were like, you could open the hood on one of those 70s cars and fit a family of 6 around the engine. There was so much space.
You could like actually work on your car without it being a hassle.
Yeah, you could, and nobody wore seatbelts, and there was like 50 feet of free fall space between you and the dash.
That's almost enough time to slow yourself down.
I know. As Dad would just like throw the arm out to stop you since there were no seatbelts.
News broke earlier today that the 2026 championship race is moving from Phoenix to Miami next year, where it will then start rotating between a few different tracks that I assume have decent weather in November. So no more boring championship races.
How did Phoenix get the last race anyway?
They had just redone the track with those updates, and NASCAR owns the track, so they said it's coming here.
France family?
Phoenix also paid them to come have the championship here, which is why it stayed here for so long.
You can have a successful race when you don't have it during things like March Madness or the Super Bowl or things like that. IndyCar, you want to pay attention.
At least IndyCar finishes before football, which NASCAR should probably look into that. Next up, NASCAR. Obviously this weekend, because we don't take weeks off anymore. We're heading out to Kansas to race on Mother's Day. So, sorry, Mom, get your own lunch. The race is on.
Yeah. I'm sure lots of moms are happy about the fact that everybody wants to sit and watch the race on Mother's Day.
What are we doing? Well, we're going to get an early breakfast, and then we're going to be home in time for the race.
Is Kansas part of the Bible Belt? I'm not seeing Kansas people leaving Mom behind to go to the races. Like,
well, then bring Mom with you. Mom, we're going to the race for Mother's Day. Enjoy yourself.
Look what we got you for Mother's Day, Mom. Pit passes.
Oh, thanks. Well, it was a triple header weekend, so Indy was up first, but we imposed a tariff on them for not racing for 3 weeks and put them last in the lineup.
Indy went to the South for the Children's of Alabama Grand Prix, brought to you by the Epstein Island Foundation. We're going to get a banner for that one.
And the Clinton Foundation.
Yeah.
Indy tried pretty hard to outdo NASCAR and F1 for the most boring race, as Pablo started on the pole and then stayed there all day for his third win out of 4 races.
Is he the Max Verstappen of IndyCar now? Like, he just wins all the time? Or is Ganassi just really got that car hooked up?
Well, Scott Dixon started way in the back. He moved up to, I don't know, 10th or so, but no one else on Ganassi's doing that. I can't imagine that Scott Dixon's getting a worse car than Pablo is.
You know what the worst part about Pablo is every time he wins, then he gets on the car in that high-pitched, like 12-year-old puberty voice of his. It's all excited. Great job, boys. Wait. Great job, boys. I can't do it. But anyway, yeah, he sounds like he's 12.
Well, how do we talk Cadillac into taking Palou away to F1 next season? Can we get them to do that?
That sounds reasonable. Instead of looking at Colton Herta, can you take Pablo instead?
Yeah, I don't think Colton's a little choking a little too much there, but
Well, I do have to admit, Pablo is the most successful thing to come out of Spain since Francisco Franco, who, if you don't know your history, he was dictator for like 36 years.
hopefully it ends better for Palou.
Oh, yeah. That didn't end good for Franco, did it?
No, but you do have to admire the longevity there.
Yeah, he was 36 years as dictator. That's pretty good.
The best we can do is 8.
Yeah. F1 hopeful Colton Herta started third, but then choked in solidarity with Lando Norris.
He's just trying to show Cadillac that he can drive just like any F1 driver.
He stalled it coming out of the pits. Now, and at first I thought like his pit crew had screwed up, but then I'm like, nope, he just stalled it.
He stalled.
How that just doesn't happen often.
There's every race, there's something. He's got a fast car and he just drops a few spots because of mistakes like that.
Yeah.
Pato Award looked promising earlier. Well, in practice, he looked promising. Then he smashed the wall really hard. But luckily, the walls at Barber are made from goose down pillows, apparently. Did you see that in practice?
Squish.
Just massive smash. And then they pull the car out and he's like, oh, all right, let's go. The wing might be bent slightly.
Got like a triple safety wall.
Any other track, that car would have been done for the weekend. Bring out the backup. That was pretty amazing. More importantly, why does Penske suck so much now?
Oh, easy. No extra push the pass button.
I guess when you can't just lay that button down for an entire lap.
Yeah.
You can't. Man, they're all way back.
Yeah, they're terrible at Barber. Which begs the question, what happened to Bridge Harlot? Did they get rid of Bridge Harlot?
There was a new one up.
I didn't even see Bridge Harlot.
They fastened her a little bit better to the bridge.
Oh.
I don't remember what her new name is. I think they talked about it in practice, but
How are
I
the
didn't see her during
optics
the race.
on that? You take a woman scantily clad and tie her to a bridge. Like,
yeah, it's a fun place. We're all having fun.
we're in the Trump era now.
So this race, and since the first lap of the season, there have been 0 cautions.
Wow.
0 cautions at all besides the first lap of the season. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's right. Long Beach, no cautions.
Straight through.
Alabama, no cautions. Does thermal count?
No cautions.
Still no cautions. Wow.
Is it time to borrow the promoter caution from the NASCAR All-Star race?
Yeah.
Pullo's out by 25 seconds again. Put it out.
And how about a fan voted caution? Like, you can all go on the Fox streaming service and oh wait, no, can't do that.
Those never work. I remember when NASCAR would do a fan vote to invert the field in the All-Star race, and there was options of like 10, 5, it was always the most amount of cars.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think it was going to be?
Yeah.
Why even do this?
People want to see chaos.
It was.
Really? Who doesn't want to go see the train wreck? Right. I'm wondering though, now that Fox has IndyCar, did they just double the amount of commercials, or am I imagining that?
They could have, but I'm used to watching NASCAR on Fox, so it still seems like a light amount of commercials that I'm seeing.
This is not the 90s NASCAR. You can't have that many commercials anymore.
That's still bad on Fox. It's a little better on cable, but it's still too many.
Streaming service will pay money to not watch all those stupid commercials.
They even go the side by side, and I'm like, I still can't see what's happening. Fast forward. What's the hybrid system doing exactly besides making IndyCar racing worse?
Yeah, it's. I feel like electric power is like the DEI component of racing. Like, we're just putting it in there to say, hey, look, we're all electric. Look what we did.
It's they already have the push to pass, which they could just boost that up if they want a little more
Yeah.
juice. This is just throwing an extra 100 pounds on a car that already is too heavy because of the aero screen. It seems like passes are down like 70% since they introduced it with the extra weight.
I'm gonna say get rid of the aero screen. Do not a Formula One style halo, but maybe a split. Instead of one down the middle like a thong, two, so you can actually see through it.
That would be then all you would a little bit on the sides, but you don't
Yeah.
look that way that much.
The halo would be a lot better than that stupid windscreen. And get rid of the rear fenders. Make it open wheel.
Maybe the next car will hopefully get rid of the hybrid.
Get rid of the hybrid, and you know what? Let's just throw in V10s while we're there. How about that?
I want a loud, whiny V10 like the old kart.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean it's running on ethanol, so it's plant-based already.
Yeah, there you go, plant-based.
Yeah. They are coming up with the new chassis in 26, 27, I forget.
So they say.
Yeah, well, that's true as well.
Just like that at North American race in Mexico, that race they're going to have in Mexico, they keep talking about.
Well, it was Star Wars weekend. Live long and prosper.
Oh no. Oh no, what have you done?
I was really hoping that somebody in one of the three series would run a Star Wars themed paint job, but no. We do. We got our Clone Wars race car.
The Marco Andretti Clone Wars.
Signed by Marco Andretti.
I bet Disney...
Wow, he doesn't even sign good. What?
Hey, he's probably drunk.
Yeah.
I bet Disney shut down any Star Wars game because they realized it would have been better than any Star Wars they've ever made.
Yeah. Like Ahsoka. I think Ahsoka was the worst Star Wars they've made so far.
Man, I was the most disappointed with the Obi-Wan show, just because I was so excited to get Obi-Wan back, and that show was so depressing.
The girl that's like 5 years younger than she should be. And
why did that didn't need to be in the show? Why did we need to do that?
Yeah. But Ahsoka was there was way too much standing around, not saying anything, looking seriously at people, and that was supposed to be drama.
Go fight people. Go fight things.
That was the slowest Star Wars movie ever. Hopefully they don't make a sequel.
Oh, they will. They're filming it right now.
Oh, God help us. Please stop.
I saw that IndyCar was going to or thinking about requiring alternate tires twice a race, but you have to race on each tire twice, at least, for a minimum of 2 laps.
4 sets of tires?
You have to
every race?
At least have 4 sets of tires. Why don't they just make Palou start the race 6 minutes later than everyone else? Maybe that would help.
Do they ever go through 4 sets of tires in a race, other than maybe the Indy 500?
That's about it. Just because they'll change them when they stop for fuel.
Yeah.
Because now they have to have 1. The most they do 3 stops, I think, for a normal road course race. Ovals might be a little more, but that's different.
So every race is now forced to be a 3-stopper?
Just because the race was boring. That's not the way to fix it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We'll put a list together for Indy of how to fix the sport.
This is a very NASCAR solution.
Yeah.
Our car is not doing well. Well, let's change everything but the car.
Yeah.
And maybe that will help. No, don't listen to NASCAR.
Well, in other news, Team Rahal had to build a complete new car for Takuma Sato after his 95G crash in IndyCar testing.
How come the 2 Asian drivers were the only ones that crashed in the test?
I don't know. Did Asian drivers crash? Or not drive? Did they drive poorly?
I would never suggest that.
Yeah. No. We're not saying anything like that. Wait. Who was the other one? Kyle Larson?
Kyle Larson.
He's only half Asian.
Oh. Well, that's why he's a decent.
He's like the half elven, you know. Wait, who's the guy? Who's the half elven one in Lord of the Rings?
Half elf?
Yeah, he's the half elven. I can't remember his name. The one who owns Rivendell.
Elrond?
Elrond, yeah, he's Elrond the half elven,
Oh.
which always sounded like half Asian to me for some reason.
Well, he is a little magical on sprint cars, I guess.
Yeah. I'm gonna say Team Rahal should be renamed the Ohio Sadness Machine because they just keep getting worse. So, I mean, Graham's been our guy ever since the reunification, but I'm thinking we need to pick a tier 1 driver to root for. So I'm switching to Herta. Herta's gonna be my guy now.
Oh, jinxed! You've just made him have even more mistakes. I think Graham's ready for maybe some sports cars.
Yeah.
The 24 Hours of Daytona, Sebring.
Maybe he could take over team management and maybe do something a little better. I don't know why they struggle so much putting a good car together.
Any of them have not done great.
Yeah. When's the last time Rahal won a race? Was that doubleheader in Detroit like 50 years ago?
Man, what was that now? 8 years? I don't know. It was a long time ago. He won both of them?
Pre-pandemic, yeah. Like he got super lucky on setup and won both races.
I think the Ohio Sadness Machine was a good band name also.
Most things out of Ohio are pretty sad. My wife went to Michigan, so I'm not allowed to say the words Ohio and state in the same sentence.
Oh. That's gotta get difficult.
Yeah. Well, next up, shockingly, Indy does consecutive race weekends and goes to the Indy Grand Prix.
What?
Yeah.
2 weekends in a row they're going to be racing?
I don't know how they're going to manage it.
Huh. Are they going to be okay?
We'll find out.
Are they going to need some like Gatorade or something? That sounds rough for them.
Have some tea while you're at it. I forget what the race is called, but I just call it the Indy Grand Prix because it's raced at Indianapolis.
This used to be qualifying Indy Grand Prix.
Yeah.
That's probably what it is. For all you off-road race lovers, last weekend was the Mexican 1000. After misunderstanding what the race was about, former President Biden reportedly tried to get it changed to the Mexican 10 million.
Oh, like the number of people he let into the country.
Yeah, it's still probably low, but he doesn't remember.
Yeah, he did. Did I sign that? I didn't sign that. I think the auto pin signed that for me. That's it for this week. We'll see you next weekend. We have 2 races, IndyCar and NASCAR, but Formula One takes a break.
Lazy.